Seth Rollins relinquishes his Money in the Bank briefcase. The WWE has completely given up on Jey Uso and doesn't see him as a top star anymore. The WWE stops the construction of the SummerSlam stage. Why is CM Punk vs Gunther headlining SummerSlam Night 1? Rhea Ripley is not interested in WWE Unreal. Vince McMahon is a reckless driver who loves speed. This comes after his recent car accident. Florida declares August 1st as Hulk Hogan Day. Donald Trump welcomes Triple H to the White House. Karrion Kross says he has no creative input whatsoever. Let's dive right in. The WWE has completely given up on Jey Uso and doesn't see him as a top star anymore. Jey Uso's shine as a top WWE star might be fading, and it's got people talking. A wrestling veteran is concerned that the company no longer views the former World Heavyweight Champion as a main event player. Jey made history by winning his first World Championship at WrestleMania 41, but his moment was cut short when Gunther reclaimed the title, becoming a two-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now Gunther's heading into SummerSlam with the gold. On Busted Open After Dark, Tommy Dreamer pointed out a big change in Jey's presentation, noting that the fan favorite didn't come through the crowd for his entrance, a signature move that always gets the audience hyped. I keep saying this. I'm getting concerned. I do not know why. Maybe somebody can help me. Jey Uso did not come out through the crowd. Not once, but twice tonight. I'm worried about, are they not seeing this guy as a top act? I know he came in sort of from the side, maybe because he came from the Hogan tribute, but that crowd was insane for him, and the guy is one of your top acts as a babyface. An entrance is a massive part of his deal, and he didn't get it not once, but twice. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman stirred the pot with a mysterious social media post featuring a photo of Jey Uso. The two go way back as former allies in the OG bloodline. Now, Heyman's current crew, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, will clash with Jey and Roman Reigns in a huge tag team match at SummerSlam. Ahead of the showdown, Heyman dropped this cryptic message on Instagram: "Never reach down to the front row while making a point. That's narrowcasting. You want to reach up to the rafters because that's broadcasting, and it makes your presentation larger than life." Today's lesson is hereby concluded. I am sure you appreciate this altruistic offering, Paul Heyman. The WWE stops the construction of the SummerSlam stage. SummerSlam 2025 is facing a major hiccup. Word is, WWE has hit pause on building the event's massive set. SummerSlam is one of WWE's biggest shows, a cornerstone of their annual lineup, often called one of the top 4 premium live events. This year's show is set to make history as a 2-night spectacle for the first time, happening at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The card is stacked with huge matches across both nights. But according to Fightful Select, bad weather in the New York, New Jersey area has caused travel chaos, delaying flights and slowing down set construction. On July 31st, flood warnings forced workers off the field at MetLife, and a shelter was set up where the ring will go. Inside sources say WWE isn't worried about finishing the set on time. Fightful checked out the site and saw the stage and multi-level set coming together, though the ringside area still isn't ready. One match everyone's talking about is the World Heavyweight Championship clash between CM Punk and Gunther. Punk earned his shot at the Ring General by winning a gauntlet match on the July 14th episode of Raw. If Punk pulls off the win, he'll be the first to hold 2 different versions of the World Heavyweight Championship. On his rebooked wrestling podcast, Matthew Rehwoldt, formerly Aiden English, shared his take, predicting Punk will take the title, setting Gunther up for a bigger storyline with John Cena. I think you're right. They've also been putting a lot of stock in Gunther, and they have. I think this is the moment for that, and you could build Gunther maybe towards something bigger with John Cena. I think it's Punk, and this might be the night, English said. Why is CM Punk vs Gunther headlining SummerSlam Night 1? WWE has made it official. CM Punk vs Gunther will headline Night 1 of SummerSlam 2025. There was some debate about the main event, with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso's tag team match against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed also set for the same night. But just hours ago, Punk confirmed on ESPN MMA that his World Heavyweight Championship clash with the Ring General will close the show at the biggest party of the summer. Here's why this match is taking the top spot on August 2nd. When WWE shifts focus away from Roman Reigns, it often means a big surprise is coming. Punk vs Gunther headlining could signal a title change, with Punk possibly starting his first championship run since returning to WWE. A new world champion would make Night 1 unforgettable and set the tone for the 2-night event. Another reason this match is closing the show might be the chance for Seth Rollins to make a jaw-dropping return. Despite a real-life injury at Saturday night's main event, Rollins' recovery timeline is unclear, leaving room for a surprise. He could show up at SummerSlam Night 1 and even cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase to steal the World Heavyweight Championship, shocking the WWE Universe. Gunther has been a phenomenal champion, elevating the World Heavyweight Championship to new heights in his current and past reigns. By making Punk vs Gunther the main event, WWE is showing how much they value the title. When Punk announced his match would headline, he stressed that it's a big deal not just for him and Gunther, but for the championship itself. These 3 reasons explain why Punk vs the Ring General is outshining even Reigns' match to close Night 1. In other news, CM Punk recently shared an exciting tidbit about WWE's new Netflix series Unreal, which has has fans hooked with its behind-the-scenes look at the company. The show dives into backstage moments, writers' room discussions, and unseen superstar interactions, streaming now on Netflix with most of the WWE roster featured. While chatting on the Lightweights podcast with Rhea Ripley, Punk revealed that neither of them had seen the show before its release, making them as curious as the fans about the footage. I'll tell you a little bit of a secret. We haven't been allowed to see the show yet. We haven't seen it, so that's why when both of us tell you we're nervous, we're a little bit nervous. People have talked to us about a camera catching a moment between myself and Rhea. We were in the car on the way over here, and I was like, do you remember? I don't even remember there being a camera there. So it's gonna be, I'm getting on the roller coaster, we're creeping up, and I'm about to take to the dip just along with the rest of the fans. Rhea Ripley is not interested in WWE Unreal. Rhea Ripley, one of WWE's biggest stars, opened up about her mixed feelings toward the company's new Netflix docuseries, Unreal, which dropped on July 29th. The show pulls back the curtain on the wild world of professional wrestling, revealing how writers and wrestlers create unforgettable moments in the ring. It exposes WWE's creative process and some closely guarded secrets. During a recent chat on the Lightweights podcast, Ripley explained that wrestling is a private business, and she's unsure about what the show will reveal. Still, she's thrilled at the idea of fans getting a closer look at the real people behind the larger-than-life characters and the challenges they face every week. I mean, for me, I'm a little bit nervous to see what is actually shown, just because this business is very, hidden. There's a lot of things that we don't want out there for everyone. But I think the thing that I'm more excited for is people being able to see, a little bit more human side of us, where they can connect to us that little bit more, and they can see the struggles that we go through on a weekly basis, if not multi-time weekly basis, like preparing for the matches and stuff. Just like what our mental structure is going into it, and what we're having to overcome week in and week out. That's what I'm excited for. Everything else, I'm a little bit nervous. This weekend at SummerSlam, Rhea Ripley is set for a massive showdown. She'll battle Sky and Naomi in a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. The bad blood started at the historic Evolution Premium Live event when Naomi cashed in her Money in the Bank contract during Ripley's match with Sky, stealing the title. Since then, the three have been locked in a heated rivalry over the championship. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce decided the only way to settle it is with a high-stakes triple threat match at SummerSlam, where the Women's World Championship is on the line. Vince McMahon is a reckless driver who loves speed. This comes after his recent car accident. Vince McMahon, the former WWE boss, found himself in hot water after a car accident on July 24th. Jim Ross, who used to work closely with McMahon in WWE, recently shared that he hated riding with the 79-year-old because of his dangerous driving habits. McMahon smashed his Bentley into a BMW while speeding in Connecticut, also hitting a Ford Fusion. All three cars had to be towed. Barbara Doran, the BMW driver, claimed police were tailing McMahon when the crash happened. On his Grilling JR podcast, Ross called McMahon out for his reckless behavior behind the wheel, saying he always pushed the limits. He drove recklessly, and he loved speed. I was with him when we got stopped by the Ohio State Police because he was driving too fast. At some point in time, I got to thinking maybe I need to change ways of passage because these speeds are uncomfortable, and we're not in any hurry. The show's over. We don't do another show until tomorrow night or next week or whatever it may be, but golly, it was just a speed race. He loved speed. He loved to be the fastest guy on the highway. Ross, a Hall of Famer who worked for WWE for 23 years from 1993 to 2019 and now calls matches for AEW, wasn't the only one uneasy. Other WWE insiders like Bruce Pritchard and Pat Patterson also traveled with McMahon, who ran WWE's creative direction for 40 years until stepping down in 2022. Ross said some staff avoided car rides with McMahon because he never stopped talking business, which got exhausting. I rode with him a lot because the other guys, Patterson and Bruce and whoever else was in the entourage at the time, he tapped them out. He was challenging because he never turned it off. It was always about business and what's next, this, that, and the other, and it got boresome. McMahon now faces a reckless driving charge and is set to appear in Stamford Superior Court on August 26th, just 2 days after turning 80. Florida declares August 1st as Hulk Hogan Day. The wrestling world is still shaken by the loss of legend Hulk Hogan, and now new details are coming to light. On July 31st, 2025, his son Nick Hogan shared a heartfelt update on Instagram, announcing that August 1st is officially Hulk Hogan Day in Florida. Alongside a memorandum signed by Governor Ron DeSantis, Nick spoke about his father's deep love for the state. In his post, he wrote, "Tomorrow, August 1st, is officially Hulk Hogan Day in the state of Florida. My dad was a true Floridian and loved his home state. Thank you for this honor at FL Governor DeSantis. He would be so proud of this." Governor DeSantis' memorandum calls for all flags across Florida, including at the Capitol and in Pinellas County, to fly at half-staff on August 1st to honor Hogan, who passed away on July 24th at age 71. The Pinellas County Forensic Science Center confirmed that Hulk Hogan, whose real name was Terry Bollea, died of a heart attack, known as an acute myocardial infarction. Shockingly, it was revealed that Hogan had been privately fighting chronic lymphocytic leukemia, CLL, a type of blood and bone marrow cancer, which was never public knowledge. He also had a history of atrial fibrillation, AFib, a condition causing irregular and fast heartbeats. On July 24th, Hogan suffered a cardiac arrest at his Clearwater home and was rushed to Morton Plant Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. A medical examiner's spokesperson noted, "I am not aware when Mr. Bollea will be cremated." Social media has been filled with tributes from fans and wrestlers alike celebrating Hogan's larger-than-life legacy. A recent Page 6 report dug deeper into his passing, confirming the heart attack as the cause, along with his secret battle with leukemia and AFib. Per the records, the former WWE superstar also had a history of leukemia CLL, a type of cancer that affects white blood cells called lymphocytes, Page 6 reported. The report also mentioned that Hogan's cancer battle was unknown to the public. His health struggles followed a neck surgery in May, which left him in poor condition. Since his death, WWE has honored Hogan with tributes on SmackDown, Raw, and NXT, while fans, friends, and family continue to share memories of the iconic yet controversial star. Donald Trump welcomes Triple H to White House. The wrestling world is full of surprises, and Triple H, WWE's top decision-maker, is making waves far beyond the ring. Recently, he stepped into the spotlight in Washington, D.C. to talk about bringing back the presidential fitness test. This program, started in 1966 and shelved in 2012, is now being revived in public schools thanks to President Donald Trump. At the White House, Triple H spoke to a crowd about the country's plan to boost youth fitness, a cause close to his heart as a two-time WWE Hall of Famer. He was deeply grateful for the chance to be there. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, President Trump. I'm truly honored to be on this. I appreciate what everyone is doing for the health and wellness of the entire country. For me, since I was 14, this has been such a big part of my life. Health, fitness, sports, nutrition, all of it. I think learning that at a young age sets you up for success in life, and without it, you're at a lesser place. I look forward to the opportunity to do this. I look forward to the opportunity to help make our youth healthy, help get them engaged in sports, and help them learn what it takes to be successful in life. So thank you very much for the honor. Thank you. Triple H has been a supporter of Trump's presidency since the WWE Hall of Famer's first term. He's attended several events in the nation's capital, and it's anyone's guess what his future involvement might look like. As Triple H takes on more roles, we'll keep watching closely. With his expertise in health and fitness, it's no shock that Trump's team reached out to the game for input on this project. What do you think about Triple H's White House visit? Did his speech hit the mark? Karrion Kross says he has no creative input whatsoever. Karrion Kross has been a chilling force on WWE TV, teaming up with Scarlett to haunt the roster. But behind the scenes, he's not calling the shots. At least that's what he's saying. In a fresh interview with WrestleZone, the former NXT champion admitted he has almost no say in his main roster storyline. Even though he once poured his heart into a detailed character plan when he joined WWE, he now feels left out of the big decisions about his on-screen persona. Virtually none. So yeah, not much. I don't know how much I can say. Not much, unfortunately. I would love to be more involved with how that comes to life. A lot of times I'm just given what I'm given, and I'm going to do my absolute best to make that as entertaining as possible. Kross revealed that the only time he gets to flex his creativity is during live moments in front of the crowd. What's really cool about doing anything live in front of the audience, like the in-commercial break, is that's very free flow. Anytime you ever get in front of the audience, whether you're in the ring or on the mic, there is an opportunity to allow engagement, but the backstage stuff is very controlled. Even though others are steering his character's direction, Kross hinted that there's more to his story than fans realize. He teased a jaw-dropping reveal about how his dark, curse-driven storyline with Scarlett came to be, promising it'll shock everyone. This has been a really fun character to play, and when the time is right, I'm going to tell everybody how this all happened, and it's going to blow their minds. How we got to this character, who is, for lack of better words, putting curses on people with Scarlett, and the spiraling out and crashing out of their lives following that whole thing. How all of that came to be. He went further, saying the true backstory is something nobody could predict. When I tell people how this all played out, it's going to be world-altering, because the real story behind all of this to where we are right now is actually unbelievable, and I can't wait to get there. We're going to get there. It's going to be unbelievable. That's all I can say. It's not what people think. When pressed on when this bombshell might drop, Kross simply said, "Really soon." Karrion Kross is clearly holding nothing back, and if his hints are true, a game-changing twist is coming. For now, he's biding his time, waiting for the chance to unleash the real version of his character. Seth Rollins relinquishes his Money in the Bank briefcase. Seth Rollins, known as the Visionary, has been unstoppable since turning heel and teaming up with Paul Heyman at WrestleMania 41. The former World Heavyweight Champion built a powerhouse faction with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, showing the world he's a force to be reckoned with. A few months back, Rollins won the Money in the Bank contract for the second time, cementing his spot as a top contender for the world title. Recently, he was locked in a heated feud with LA Knight, and the two clashed at Saturday night's main event. But disaster struck when Rollins suffered a knee injury during the match. He hasn't appeared on WWE TV TV since and might be sidelined for months. Reports say a planned dream match against his former Shield teammate Roman Reigns at SummerSlam was scrapped due to the injury, suggesting Rollins won't show up at the historic two-night SummerSlam. With Rollins out of action, WWE hasn't shared details about how serious his injury is or when he might return. There's a chance the Visionary could appear at SummerSlam to update fans on his condition. In a stunning twist, he might even give up his Money in the Bank contract, unable to cash it in because of his injury. This would be a huge shock and could lead to a tournament for other stars to fight over the vacant contract. Only time will tell what WWE has planned for Rollins. This isn't his first setback. He suffered a major knee injury in 2015 and has been forced to take breaks multiple times. After his latest injury at Saturday night's main event, Rollins spoke about his mindset on The Rich Eisen Show, saying he's at peace with the time off and sees it as a chance to bond with his daughter, something his hectic schedule wouldn't normally allow. Well, I don't know, again, because I'm not a doctor, don't want to do their job. But it feels a lot like 2015 in the sense that I was, kind of in story. I was on my way up to taking the top spot. This is sort of like that. But mentally, I'm in such a different place 10 years gone. I'm just more comfortable with it. I'm kind of like trying to find the silver linings. Like, my daughter is 4.5. Like, I'm going to be able to spend a lot of time with her that I might not have been able to otherwise, because the schedule is going to get crazy, he added.